Hello and welcome to Caring. Well, this week we focus on the sad phenomenon of child trafficking. A loose term with negative connotations, but child trafficking nonetheless, when young offspring are given away to wealthy foreigners in exchange for money. For lucky adoptees, the actual sum is inconsequential. Exhausted after costly and upsetting attempts in their own countries, many gratefully look to smaller developing nations in their bid to give a child a home. Countries like Cambodia, where widespread poverty forces many locals to consider desperate ways to make ends meet. And dazzled by the promise of a better life for their loved ones, parents and families readily relinquish control and sign away their offspring. But an increasing number of abuses of the system via rogue adoption agencies has prompted many Western governments to immediately suspend all adoptions of Cambodian children. Here in France, the government has only just recently lifted the ban that had been in place for some 5 years, but French authorities have enforced stringent tests and vetting on would-be parents. In Cambodia, meanwhile, there are still as yet few laws against the widespread corruption and not enough incentive to make parents stop this tragic practice of selling their children. Our reporter Michael Stanke travelled to Phnom Penh to hear their sad tales.
Bopper is a social worker. Each week she makes her way to the neighbourhood of Bangkok, north of Phnom Penh. This shantytown has a reputation as a major hub for child trafficking in Cambodia. One of the women with whom Bopper works sold her child a month ago for a few $100s. Since then, she has received no news concerning her son.
Hello, how are you doing? Can I come in? Could you please tell me what happened to your child? Why did you abandon him?
The other day I heard that he was in Thailand. When I heard the news, I was profoundly shocked. I don't know how to properly express how I feel, but it makes me sad.
The last time we spoke, didn't you say that the child was abroad?
I'm always thinking of my child, but I don't know what to do. Even if I tried to get him back now, I could not, because nobody knows where he is. It's too late now.
Who came to get your child from you?
It was a Cambodian woman. She told me that she was taking him in to raise him by herself. But just after she took him away, I learned through my neighbors that my child had already been sent off to Thailand. If I had known, I would never have abandoned him, but I desperately needed the money.
The transaction was made at home. This woman sold her child for $400 to a middleman who, it goes without saying, she has not seen since.
The neighborhood has loads of poverty. A lot of people come through here and many of them have dishonest intentions. These people influence the parents to abandon their child in exchange for money. But it's easy to trick these families due to their vulnerability and complete lack of resources. That's why child traffickers come here.
There are hundreds of stories like this one all throughout Cambodia. Abandonment for economic reasons is the main cause of child trafficking in Cambodia, which is fed by international adoptions. The regulations have never been strict enough to prevent abuses, which are regularly denounced by LICADO, Cambodian League for the Promotion and Defense of Human Rights.
Usually one adopts an orphan or a child abandoned by his parents, but sometimes it's not the case. Because of corruption, a child is declared to be an orphan, but the certificate is fake. The child is declared as abandoned, but in reality he's been bought, smuggled, sold several times.
Alors voilà les prix.
And here is how child trafficking is organized. This website features a price list in dollars to adopt a child from an orphanage.
Here the price is $13,045 for a child. Yes, for one child. And here it's $12,080. This is how middlemen work.
In this way, it's possible to buy a child or else to pick him or her. We went into this orphanage with a hidden camera. Here, none of the children have been orphaned, yet, according to the director of the facility, they can be adopted.
Could you explain to me what I would have to do in order to adopt a child from you?
It's quite simple. First, you must take a tour of the city's orphanages and choose the child that you would like to adopt. After that, you go to the Ministry of Social Affairs to fill out quite a bit of paperwork. Then you come here and the child is yours.
Can I adopt this one, for example?
Yes, but he has a grandfather in the country. Just let me inform him that someone wants to adopt his grandson.
A single telephone call to the grandfather was all it took to be able to adopt the child in exchange for a sum of money. In the Cambodian countryside, poverty pushes peasants to abandon their children and to place them in orphanages. One of this family's children was adopted by a French couple who came here last year. This was in fact illegal, because the adoptive parents dealt directly with the biological parents.
Our child was in an orphanage, and then a French lady came to see us, requesting to adopt our child because she found him to her liking. Now he is in France, and he is receiving a proper education. This makes us happy. Now he is 12 years old. Yeah, that's it. I think he's 12 years old now.
He is 7. That's it. He was adopted a year ago when he was 6. Now he's 7 years old.
The French adoptive parents gave $1,000 to this couple to help them with their daily needs. This financial generosity, coupled with the prospect of a better future for their child in France, made a lot of their neighbors jealous.
I want my child to be adopted too. You see, I have 7 children and I'm too old to take care of them. In this way, he will receive a proper education.
I am very familiar with the way Cambodians think about this, especially the poor. We all want our children to receive a proper education. This is of the utmost importance to us. That is why we want to have our children adopted by foreign parents.
This is why Cambodian orphanages are filled with children. This man manages this facility, which has taken in over 100 children from all parts of Cambodia. The 13-year-old brother of the child adopted by the French couple is among them. He does not know if one day he will be adopted or if he will be able to join up with his brother in France.
Have you had any news from your brother?
No, I've had no news from him.
The director claims this is not true.
I am in contact with the adoptive family in France, and we receive news by email.
Who are we to believe? To better understand why trafficking and adoption go hand in hand in Cambodia, we visited this clinic. This medical institution is run by this man, Dr. Keo San. In 2001, he was accused by NGOs of having taken away a child from its mother just after it was born. When we brought up these past events, it clearly made him feel uneasy.
Look, the police investigated and found that it just wasn't true. Today, the parents are alive. They are rubbish scavengers. And in the end, they found in my favor. That's just how it happened.
This child was adopted. Did he have any parents alive?
Yes, only the mother is still living. It wasn't an abandoned child.
Is the story over now?
It's settled.
This child, who clearly still had parents, has been in France ever since. The case has never gone before the courts. Dr. Keo San continues to practice. He is also in charge of an orphanage that is very popular with French adoptive couples. This couple received approval 2 years after having issued their request. Today is the second time they will meet their future child. They currently know little or nothing about the child.
Here there are no civil records, so you can't even completely rely on the dates of birth. So that's it. The biological mother will always be part of our lives. We spoke about it with my wife, and this situation is something that moves us. We think that any way you look at it, the mother must be in a very difficult situation.
In 2007, 30 Cambodian children were adopted by French families. As we speak, no in-depth investigations on the part of the French or Cambodian authorities have been able to conclusively determine the family status of those children who were adopted in Cambodia.
Well, that's it then for this edition of Caring. Don't forget you can see that report again, as well as other programmes on our website, www.france24.com. Click on the link marked Special Reports. Do join us again very soon. Until then, thank you for watching and bye-bye for now.